Hi friends, thanks for joining me again. I have my little Suki here, curious about all of the knitting stuff that I have. Let's see if I can pick up little Took. She's in a lot of my booktube videos, naturally, because she's always curious about whatever it is I'm doing with books, yarn, whatever. Anyway, my name's Renee. Thanks for joining me again. I guess I have some updates. And I want to tell you about my first yarn order that I made for myself for Mother's Day. Kind of a treat for myself. Are you gonna play nice? Are you gonna play nice? I don't know. Okay, first I have this put away, or at least I put it away for about a week because I took it away with me, this project I'm working on, or I was working on, the sock. I took it away with me when we went away for a few days, staying at a lake house in the Hudson Valley. And I'm noticing a problem here, but I worked on the length of the body of a sock. I think this is a Tin Can Knits pattern. I've talked about it a couple times. I'll make sure I link it. It's free. I'll make sure I link it. Where is it, Crazy Sock Lady? I'm completely blanking on it, but I'll link it in the show notes, and it's on Ravelry, on my Ravelry, which is ReneePgh for Pittsburgh. But I just worked on the length, whatever amount of rows. That's why I put the stitch markers in to indicate every 10, so I knew when I was at, I think this is like, I don't even want to guess, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, something like that, 60 rounds. And I love the self-striping. Like, this is the first time I've used a self-striping, and like, I love what this is doing. This is Regia. I don't think I have, I think I do. No, I don't. It's the Regia sock yarn, which I'll list in the show notes. I don't have the ball band. But I tried the slip stitch heel in the pattern. It must be Crazy Sock Lady pattern, the vanilla socks, because I tried following the tutorial and it didn't work for me. I tried moving stitches on DPNs, and I don't know, I don't remember now, but something went wrong and I just back stitched my way out of it and put the stitches back on. And I was going to try to do the heel on the circulars and look at other videos, which I have saved. So that's where I'm at now. I just put it away because I wasn't in a place when I got back that I really wanted to figure something out. I wanted to keep working on my other project, which I think I showed you in the last video, and that is this sweater vest. Here's where I'm at already. What pattern is this? I'm forgetting now. Now I have some stitch markers in places that have holes, so that I'm like gaps, not really holes, but gaps, so that they don't get any bigger. And also just, to indicate where they are so that I can fix them. I haven't looked up videos on how to fix those yet. These are things that I didn't notice because I wasn't like super checking my work after I had done a couple rounds. And so that's why there are holes that, in little divots that I need to take care of. But I just was so far along that I just thought, you know what, I'm going to keep on stitching. Get back on there, and keep on going. So I'm at the 10.5 inches of body, and I was working on this yesterday evening, and I got to the 10.5 inches. Now again, I realize that the ribbing isn't perfect. And as a matter of fact, I feel like it might be too loose, but I've like held it up and it looks like, okay, that's gonna fit me. I understand now why people make sweaters and vests from top down, so you can keep trying them on. But hey, this is my first go. I'm at the point now where you start doing some things for the holes, the armholes. And I started to do that on, you know, round number, whatever, the first round of after you get to the 10.5 inches last night. And it was already like a little past when I would go to bed. And lesson learned, don't start a new trick when it's already past your bedtime, because I started that round and I misread the instructions and I completely goofed up like 30 some stitches to the point where I had double stitched them, like stitched to, like, not really stitch them together, but SSK or whatever it's called. And I had to back all that out and it looked really messy. And then I backed out another row just to get it to look okay again this morning. So yeah, that's lesson learned. But this is this very inexpensive yarn, which is called for in the pattern, which is Wool Ease, Lion brand. And this is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. Very cheap. I got this for $4.13 a skein because it was on sale at Joann's, and it's the perfect thing for a new project. I mean, for making my first garment, because it's cheap. And I only have one skein left, so we'll see if I need to buy another one. Or actually, I should say, this is as much as I have of the second skein, so I have plenty here. What pattern is this? Again, I'm forgetting. I'm so sorry that I'm drawing blanks as I'm talking, but I will put it across the screen when I'm editing. Did I pay for this? I think I did. Yeah. I think this was a paid for. It was like the first pattern I paid for, maybe? No, I think I paid for my daughter's slouchy beret, which I'm going to frog and do over at some point. So yeah, I am happy with my progress. I don't like that there's a couple holes, but I will fix those as best as they can be fixed. And I'm just happy to be moving along. And at least I'm like, when I see there's a gap or a hole as I'm knitting now, after a couple rounds, like, okay, I'm gonna, fix that right now and back stitch until I fix it. So who knows? Some new skills are gonna happen now that I've reached that point. But like, I really liked knitting the 10.5 inches, and I had that satisfaction of getting there and now starting something new. The other thing I have going is that scarf, the wheat scarf, the free pattern from Tin Can Knits. I have about 4 feet and I have, I guess, another foot to go. So I'm not going to show that because it's still the same thing. My Mother's Day yarn order. So I made my first order because Purl Soho, a yarn out of all the yarns that I see and that people talk about, but that I see on Instagram and so on, that is the one yarn company that just gets me in terms of the types of yarns, that how they look and the colors. And I was really in love with this yarn color, which is like desert rose. It was in a different type of yarn that I actually bought, but they had a 25% off sale. And I got interested in looking for a lighter weight summer, spring type short sleeve, not to be too ambitious, short sleeve garment to make. And Purl Soho has a pattern. I had to pay for it, which I'm not used to doing. I will put up the actual colored version of this sweater so you can get a better look. It's called the Top Down Circular Yoke Pullover. Now this has a little bit of design in the yoke, which you'll see in the picture that I'm going to insert. And I loved the color that you'll see in the color version of the 3/4 length. I loved that color because that's like a desert rose-ish. But I really liked the short sleeve version. I think I might have bought enough to do like a sweater quantity. I don't remember now exactly what I based my decision on, but I definitely will have enough for a short sleeve. I would do the version that has the rolled neck and the rolled edge. I don't know, I like that. When you see the colored picture, you'll see what I mean. I bought the Plain Air, I believe, which is what that 3/4 length sleeve is made out of. And I bought it in that color. And the name isn't coming up here, but I'll put the color. And then I believe I bought another kind of yarn. I can't remember what that yarn is, but I'm going to save that for the next episode so we can be reminded together, because it's coming. The order is coming. And I bought it in a, God, I can't even remember. I think it's a turquoise. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. It is like a summer cotton. Is it? I don't know. I will reveal that though on the next episode. We'll look at it together. Before I had decided on the Purl Soho, the reason that I was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to make this, is there's a little bit of a yoke pattern, which you will have seen in the colored version, and I wasn't sure I could do that. So I was really interested in Andrea Gaughan's Sunshine Tee, and I'll put some pictures up of that. I love the way that she has thought about the neckline and what she's doing with the neck. I really like crew necks. I like a crew neck that sits about right here. I don't like an open neck. Boat neck maybe, but I do like crew necks. I am not a V-neck person. And I also looked at these instructions. It's a paid for pattern. I went ahead and bought it before I knew which one I was going to make, because I think I will make this pattern. And I really liked hearing her talk about it and how she constructed it, and on all the test knits that you can see, and her thought process around it. She has made a version with bust darts, which I don't think I'm going to do. And yeah, so I think I'm going to start this one and see if I can get through it. And if I can't, then I can always back out and try this one. That was my thinking. I'm also going to, gauge swatch and see where I'm at based on these specs, because these are slightly different specs. Yeah, I'm excited. I have plans. So that's pretty cool. Then, in a Mother's Day continuing celebration, I went ahead and bought a set of circular needles from Chiago. I have a smaller limited set from Knit Picks, and I'm noticing that when you have an ongoing project like the scarf and this, that you then don't have the needles or the cables necessary for another project. And I really wanted to try the metal needles and the cables from Chiago. So I'm now at a point where I felt like I am solid about my decision to buy them, and that'll give me additional needles. And this set has all kinds of sizes in it, which is cool. I think it starts at 2 and goes to 8. It has lots of cables in it, and I had to buy an additional cable so that I could have the 16-inch. I bought the 5-inch version of the Chiago set, and I bought it from a place called the Woolly Thistle, which many of you will know about. The Woolly Thistle is, I don't know that they have a store front, but they have a warehouse, at least in New Hampshire. And I gathered from their website, they also have a pickup place in Vermont, but I ordered them online to be shipped. I learned about the Woolly Thistle from Emma from Barnaby Knits, AKA Tiny Desk Knitting. She's a Baltimore knitter and I love her. And she's very inspirational for me, along with a ton of other knitters in their YouTube channels. And she has a relationship with the Woolly Thistle in that she does their podcast sometimes, which I haven't watched. And And she has even contributed a design, which is a cowl. And she's taught a class, which I think can be purchased, on color work. I'm trying to think of what I mean. Fair Isle, probably Fair Isle, because she's a big Fair Isle knitter. But the Woolly Thistle is a US store, as I said, in New Hampshire, that stocks European and UK, British yarns that you can buy from the US, and they have like a flat shipping rate of $4.95. So I don't know if I'm at the point where I'm ready to buy woolly yarn, because I haven't felt it or seen it. I have to do some more feeling around of yarn before I know whether what the itch factor is for me. But I love the website. I love the store. I love going down the rabbit hole of the Woolly Thistle. They sell kits, which is really cool. Yeah, it's a wonderful website. I will link it if you're not familiar with it down below. But I have needles coming, which I'm really happy about. And what else? I think that's it for now. This is a shorter episode. But I think that's where I'm at. I do have another vest that I might be interested in making. I'm really interested in vests because of the fact that they're not sweaters, and I think it's a nice beginner garment. And of course, there's some hats that I will make at some point later. Maybe in the fall. There are definitely some hats in my future. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for, I have to keep her entertained so she stays away from my yarn. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for all your continuing feedback and help and support. I really appreciate it. On the next episode, besides sharing my yarn haul, my very first yarn haul from a store that's not local, I will also share a couple of the podcasters that I'm watching now, and that will evolve and grow as time goes on, as you know, from watching YouTube videos. But I always like to share from time to time podcasts that I know and love and I've been watching for a couple months, and then as I discover new ones, sharing those too. So again, thank you for watching and for continuing the conversation in the comments. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you on the next one.